You're not ready for this. These are the most ultra-rare Washington quarters ever found, coins worth not just thousands, but up to $250,000 or more. Some were struck by mistake, others are once-in-a-lifetime finds. One of them might be in your house right now. Stick around, the last one will leave you speechless. These coins were made for everyday use. They were made by the millions. That means one of them could be hiding in your pocket, your change jar, or maybe even inside your car right now. This is not just another coin story. This could be your lucky day. Stay with me to the end, and I'll explain exactly what to look for and how to know if you're holding one of the rarest coins from 1985. You won't believe how a small error could turn a simple quarter into a small fortune. So here's the story. In 1985, the Denver Mint made millions of quarters. These coins looked just like any other Washington quarter with George Washington's face on one side and the eagle on the back. They were made with a copper core and nickel coating, not silver. Just regular coins for regular use. But while making these coins, a few mistakes happened. These mistakes are called mint errors. And some of these errors were big ones. But nobody noticed at the time. They just sent the coins out into the world. And now, decades later, collectors are going wild trying to find them. That's because the value of these error coins is going through the roof. One of the rarest errors is called a wrong planchet error. A planchet is the blank piece of metal before the coin design is stamped on it. Every coin should be made on the correct size planchet. But in 1985, some quarters were accidentally made on the wrong ones. For example, a few 1985 D quarters were stamped on planchets meant for dimes or nickels. That means the coin came out too small or too thin. Some might even be the wrong color. These error coins are worth a lot. Some have sold for over $5,000. Others have gone for $20,000. And there are a few that are believed to be worth even more. One very special 1985 D quarter was struck on a silver planchet even though silver quarters were no longer made at that time. That coin is extremely rare and could be worth as much as $104,000. Yes, over $100,000 for one coin that looks like any other quarter at first glance. Another type of error is called a double strike. That happens when the coin is hit twice by the machine. This makes the design look doubled or stretched. Some double-struck 1985 D quarters have sold for $10,000 or more. Off-center errors are also very valuable. That's when the design is not in the right spot, and part of the image is missing. The more off-center it is, the more it's worth. These kinds of error coins are rare and exciting, and collectors will pay big money for them. And here's the best part: most people don't even know these coins exist. So there are still some out there, waiting to be found. Now you're probably thinking, how do I check my coins? It's easy. First, look at the date. You need a 1985 quarter with a D mint mark. That means it was made in Denver. The D is just below the eagle on the back, near the bottom. Then check the weight. A regular quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. If it's lighter or heavier, that could be a sign of an error. You'll need a small scale to measure it. Next, look at the edge of the coin. A normal quarter has a copper-colored line on the edge. That's from the copper inside. But if the edge is all silver with no copper line, you might have a rare one. Also, look closely at the design. Is it off-center? Is part of the lettering missing? Does it look strange or feel different? These are all signs you might have a rare coin. And if you find something odd, don't clean the coin. Cleaning can lower the value. Leave it just the way it is. Once you find a coin you think is special, the next step is to send it to a grading service. Two trusted companies are PCGS and NGC. They will check your coin, confirm if it's an error, and give it a grade. A higher grade means the coin is in better shape and worth more money. With that grading paper, you can sell your coin at auction or to a collector. People all over the country are doing this. One man found a rare error coin in a roll of quarters from the bank. He sent it in, had it graded, and later sold it for over $70,000. Another woman was going through her dad's old coin jar and found a strange quarter. She had it checked and sold it for over $50,000. These stories are real, and they prove that rare coins are still out there. Now think about how many quarters you've handled in your life. How many times have you used them without looking? You could have already touched one of these valuable coins and never even knew it. That's why this matters. That's why checking your change is worth your time. Because it only takes one coin to change everything. So here's what I want you to do. Go find your old coins. Look in your kitchen drawer, in that jar of change, or in your glove box. Ask your family if they have old coins lying around. Go to the bank and get some quarter rolls. Open them and check every single 1985 quarter you find. You never know which one could be the rare one worth thousands or maybe even over $100,000. These coins might be hiding in your pocket, old change jar, or coin collection right now. So before you spend your spare change, you might want to take a closer look. In 1966, the U.S. Mint was going through big changes. Before this year, quarters were made of silver. But starting in 1965, the government stopped using silver and switched to cheaper metal. So, in 1966, quarters were supposed to be made from layers of copper and nickel, not silver anymore. The mint was also super busy at the time, trying to make as many coins as possible. Because of all this, a few big mistakes happened and those mistakes are now worth a fortune. One of the most valuable mistakes is what collectors call a wrong planchet error. A planchet is just a fancy word for a blank coin before the design is stamped onto it. In 1966, some quarters were accidentally stamped onto the wrong kind of blank. For example, some were made using blanks meant for dimes, or even foreign coins. This made the quarter come out too small, too light, or with the wrong metal color. These rare coins can sell for thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars. Some have sold for $9,000, $20,000, and in extremely rare cases, even more. But the real prize is a 1966 quarter struck on a silver planchet, which should not have happened at all. Since silver quarters were stopped in 1964, no quarter after that should have silver. But a few old silver blanks were still left in the mint machines and got used by accident in 1966. Only a tiny number of these coins exist. One of them was found and confirmed by experts, and its value was estimated to be up to $100,000. That's just one coin. Can you imagine finding something like that in your house? These rare coins are so valuable because they're one of a kind. They tell a story about a strange and busy time in U.S. history when the mint was trying to keep up with demand while changing the way money was made. Coins with mistakes from this time are like little pieces of history. And collectors love that. Now you might be wondering, how can I tell if I have one of these special 1966 quarters? First, check the weight. A normal 1966 quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. A silver one weighs about 6.25 grams. If your coin feels a little heavier, it could be something special. Also, look at the edge of the coin. Most 1966 quarters have a brownish copper stripe on the edge. That's because of the copper core. But a silver coin has a clean, shiny silver edge with no copper line. That's a big clue. Another thing to look for is the sound. Try gently dropping the quarter onto a hard surface. A silver coin will make a high, clear ringing sound. A regular coin sounds duller. It's not a perfect test, but it can help. If your quarter looks a little off in color, weight, or sound, or if the design seems a little off-center or missing parts, don't spend it. You might be holding something extremely rare. So what should you do if you think you found one of these valuable coins? Don't clean it. Cleaning can ruin the coin's value. Instead, get it checked by a professional coin grading company like PCGS or NGC. These companies can tell you if it's real, what kind of error it has, and how much it might be worth. People have made thousands of dollars just by having their coins graded and selling them to collectors or at auction. Let's talk more about how rare and valuable these coins can be. A 1966 quarter struck on a silver planchet could easily sell for $50,000 to $80,000, depending on the condition. If it's in near-perfect shape, the value can shoot up even more, maybe even close to $100,000. That's not just pocket change, that's a life-changing find. Other rare errors from 1966 include coins struck on dime blanks, which are smaller and weigh less. These can be worth $5,000 to $15,000. There are even coins that were struck on foreign coin blanks, like from coins the US was making for other countries. Those can go for $20,000 or more. And then there are off-center strikes or double strikes, which are fun to look at and still worth a good bit, sometimes thousands of dollars depending on how big the error is. Even if your coin isn't worth $100,000, some 1966 quarters can still sell for $50 to $500 just for being in perfect condition. That's way more than 25 cents, and it shows why checking your old coins is always worth it. So the big question is, do you have one of these rare 1966 quarters? They're out there, and people are still finding them today. One lucky person found a rare 1966 error coin in a roll of quarters they got from the bank. Others have found them in inherited coin collections or old jars from grandma's house. The point is, you never know where a rare coin might show up. Before you go spending your loose change or rolling up those coins, take a moment to look. That old quarter might not be just another coin, it might be the rare one worth more than your car, your rent, or maybe even more than your house. The regular 1989 P. Washington quarter was minted in Philadelphia, and there were over 512 million of these made that year. Most people only see it as a 25-cent piece, and for good reason. Most of these coins are common and don't have much value beyond their face value. But sometimes, errors happen at the mint, and when that happens, collectors get very interested. These errors can turn a normal quarter into a rare treasure. So, what kind of errors are we talking about? There are a few types that collectors love. One of the most valuable and rare is called a mule error. This means that the coin was accidentally struck with two different designs, like the front of a Washington quarter on the back of a completely different coin. While no confirmed 1989 P. Mule quarter has been found yet, some coins from other years with this mistake have sold for massive amounts, sometimes over $100,000. If a mule error from 1989 P. ever shows up, it could be one of the most valuable coins ever discovered. Another type of error that can boost a coin's value is an off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly lined up during the minting process, so part of the design is missing or shifted. Most off-center errors are small and not worth much, but if the strike is off by a large amount, like over 50%, and the coin is in great condition, it could be worth thousands of dollars. There are also broad strike errors, where the coin is struck without its normal metal edge, causing the coin to be larger and look stretched out. While most broad strike errors are not super valuable, a very clear and well-preserved example could fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Missing or filled mint marks are another error type collectors like. For example, if the P mint mark for Philadelphia is missing or looks filled in, it can make the coin more interesting to collectors. Usually, these coins sell for a few dollars to a few hundred, depending on the quality, but sometimes, they are worth more if the error is dramatic. Doubled die errors, where the design appears to be doubled or blurry, are common on some quarters, including the 1989. Most double die quarters from this year are worth just a few dollars, but if the doubling is very strong and the coin is in mint state, it might be worth a few $100s. When it comes to condition, the better the condition, the higher the value. Collectors look for coins graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. A normal 1989 P quarter in circulated condition is worth just 25 cents. An uncirculated coin graded around MS 60 might be worth $1 to $15. As the grade goes higher to MS-66 or MS-67, the value can jump into the hundreds or even low thousands of dollars. But errors can push the value much higher. Some special error coins have sold at auctions or private sales for amounts like $49,000, $79,000, and even over $100,000. These rare sales mostly involve coins with extreme and obvious errors like mules or rare die clashes that collectors dream of owning. Although these prices are not common, they show the incredible potential value for a rare error 1989 P quarter. If you want to see if your coin might be valuable, the first step is to look carefully at your quarter. Use a magnifying glass or take a close-up photo with your phone. Look for anything unusual. Is the design off-center, blurry, doubled, or missing parts? Does the mint mark look strange or missing? Is the coin larger than normal or oddly shaped? If you spot anything weird, it's worth taking to a coin expert or sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Getting a coin professionally graded helps prove its condition and authenticity, which can greatly increase its value. Grading companies assign a grade based on the coin's wear and appearance, and they also check for errors or unique features. A high grade combined with a rare error can lead to big money. Even if you don't find a super rare error, knowing about these possibilities makes collecting quarters way more exciting. Every coin has a story, and some of these ordinary quarters might hide secrets worth thousands of dollars. So, to sum up, while most 1989 P quarters are common and worth little more than their face value, a rare error coin from this year can be worth an incredible amount, from tens of thousands up to more than $100,000. Whether it's a mule error, a big off-center strike, or another dramatic mistake, these coins are like finding a treasure chest in your pocket. Keep an eye out, because that one coin you overlook might be the next big find in the world of coin collecting. And if you think you've got a rare 1989 P quarter error, get it checked, get it graded, and you could be holding a piece of history worth a small fortune. These coins look like normal quarters, but they have a secret. They were made with mistakes at the mint. These mistakes are called errors, and they make the coin very special. When collectors find out a coin has one of these rare errors, they are willing to pay big money for it. Some error coins from 1970 have already sold for over $60,000. Others have gone for $80,000 or more. And experts believe the right coin, in the best condition, could be worth over $117,000 if it was found and sold today. Now, imagine you're holding a coin that most people would ignore. You might drop it into a vending machine or toss it into a tip jar. But if you knew what to look for, you could turn that same coin into a fortune. That's why this story matters. It could change your life. In 1970, the Denver Mint made millions of quarters. Most of them were normal. But a few had mistakes. One of the most famous mistakes is called an overstrike. That means a coin was struck on top of another coin by accident. One of the most famous 1970 D quarters was struck on top of a 1941 Canadian quarter. That means you could see some of the old Canadian coin under the design of the new American coin. This mistake happened during the minting process. It was not supposed to happen, but it did. That rare coin was later sold for more than $35,000. And now that coin is known all over the world. But that was just the start. People started looking for more. And over time, more rare 1970 D quarters were found with different kinds of errors. Some were struck on wrong metal planchets. A planchet is a blank piece of metal used to make coins. A quarter should be made on a certain size and metal. But sometimes, a blank meant for a dime or a foreign coin was used by mistake. That made the coin come out smaller or with a strange color. Some of these error coins looked silver all over with no copper edge. Others looked thinner than normal. If you find a coin like that, it could be one of the rare ones. These types of errors have sold for $20,000, $50,000, and even more. The value depends on the condition and how rare the error is. Another rare error is called a double strike. That means the coin was hit twice by the press, making the image look strange or stretched. Some coins were even struck off-center, with part of the image missing. These errors are easy to spot if you know what to look for. But most people don't even check. They just spend the coin and never notice what they had. So now you might be wondering what to do. First, look for the date. The coin must say 1970 and have a small D mark on it. That D shows it was made in Denver. You'll see it just to the right of Washington's ponytail on the front of the coin. If your coin says 1970 D, take a close look at it. Do you see any letters or numbers hiding under the design? That could mean it was struck on another coin. Does the coin look off-center? Is the image doubled? Is the edge silver all the way around, with no copper stripe? These are all signs that you might have a rare error coin. A normal quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. So, weigh your coin with a small digital scale. If it weighs more or less than that, it might be on the wrong planchet. If you think your coin is rare, do not clean it. Cleaning the coin can damage it and make it worth less. Leave it just the way you found it. Next, send it to a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. They will check your coin, tell you what kind of error it has, and give it a grade. A higher grade means better condition and more value. With a proper grade, you can sell your coin at auction or directly to a collector. Some of these coins have made people rich. One man found a 1970 D quarter with an overstrike on an old foreign coin. He had it graded and later sold it for more than $65,000. Another person found a strange-looking 1970 D coin in a box of old change. That one was sold for nearly $90,000 because of a rare error. These stories are real, and they show that rare coins can still be found by regular people. The key is to know what to look for. So now it's your turn. Start checking your coins. Look through your pocket change. Ask your parents or grandparents if they have old coins in jars or drawers. Go to the bank and get rolls of quarters. Take your time and look at each one. You don't need to be a coin expert. You just need to be curious and careful. Look for the year 1970 and the D mint mark. Look for strange signs like extra letters, doubled images, off-center strikes, or missing copper edges. Any of these things could mean you found one of the rarest error quarters in the world. And remember, it only takes one coin. One small mistake made at the mint over 50 years ago could now be worth more than $100,000. So don't wait. Start looking. Because your next coin could be the one worth $60,000, $89,000, or even $117,000. That's not just a quarter. That's a life changer. These are called mint errors. They happen when something goes wrong while the coin is being made. Sometimes the design is wrong. Sometimes the metal is wrong. Sometimes the shape is wrong. And when this happens, a regular coin can become a treasure. In 1992, millions of quarters were made at the Denver Mint. They were just normal coins meant for everyday use. People used them to buy gum, pay parking meters, or drop in vending machines. But in the middle of all those coins, a few were not so normal. A few had special mistakes. These are now called error coins, and collectors are willing to pay thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars to own one. One of the most famous mistakes is something called a close AM error. On the back of a quarter, look at the word America. Usually, the letters A and M are spaced apart. But on a few coins, the A and M are very close together, almost touching. This design was not meant for regular coins. It was used on special proof coins. But somehow, a few regular coins were made using the wrong design. This small mistake makes the coin rare and valuable. Another kind of mistake is when the coin is made on the wrong blank. A blank, or planchet, is the metal disc used to make the coin. A quarter should be made on a quarter-sized blank. But sometimes, by mistake, a quarter is stamped on a blank meant for a dime or even a foreign coin. When that happens, the coin comes out too small, or too thin, or the wrong color. These are very rare, and if you find one, it could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. There are also coins with double strikes, where the coin is hit twice by the machine. These can look stretched, doubled, or off-center. Some coins are even missing parts of the design or letters. These are all signs that you might have a rare error coin. The 1992 D quarter with these types of errors is one of the most hunted coins today. Collectors are always looking for them. Some have sold for more than $58,000. Some have reached prices as high as $87,000. And experts believe that the perfect 1992 D error coin, in great shape and with the right type of mistake, could one day sell for more than $111,000. That is a huge amount of money for a small coin. And the best part is, most people don't even know about it. That means these coins are still out there, waiting to be found. They might be in your change right now. Or in a jar at your grandma's house. Or in a roll of coins from the bank. So how can you tell if you have one of these rare 1992 D quarters? First, look at the date. Make sure it says 1992 and that there is a D mint mark. That D means it was made in Denver. Then flip the coin over and look closely at the word America. If the A and M are very close, with no gap between them, you might have the close AM error. That is the one collectors love. Next, check the edge of the coin. Most quarters have a copper stripe on the edge. If your coin looks silver all the way around, it could have been made on the wrong planchet. That's another valuable mistake. Also, feel the weight. A regular quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. If your coin is much lighter or heavier, that could be a sign of an error. Try using a digital scale to check. You should also look for other signs, like missing letters, doubled images, or off-center designs. These kinds of mistakes are not common, and they make the coin even more special. But here is something very important: do not clean the coin. Cleaning can scratch it and lower its value. If you think you have a rare one, leave it just as it is. Then, send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They will check your coin, tell you if it is real, and give it a grade. A coin with a high grade in great condition is worth much more money. Once you get your coin graded, you can sell it at an auction or to a collector. People are paying big money for these rare quarters. One man found a rare 1992 D quarter and sold it for over $65,000. Another person found one while sorting through a jar of old coins and ended up selling it for more than $75,000. These stories are real, and they prove that rare coins are still being found today. So don't think it can't happen to you. Go check your change. Ask your family if they have old coins. Look through your drawers, jars, and boxes. Go to the bank and ask for rolls of quarters. Open them and look through each one. You don't need to be an expert. You just need to know what to look for. And now you do. The 1992 D quarter might seem like just another coin. But if it has the right mistake, it could be worth more than a car, more than a year of rent, or even more than a college education. And it's still out there, waiting for someone to find it. Maybe that someone is you. So go look. Because a tiny mistake made at the mint over 30 years ago could be your lucky day today. In 1967, the U.S. Mint made over 1.5 billion quarters. That means these coins are very common. Most are worth just their face value. But a few of them came out with mistakes. What we call errors. These error coins are what collectors love. And when an error is rare enough and the coin is in great shape, it can sell for huge amounts of money. One of the most valuable types of errors is when a quarter is made on the wrong metal blank. For example, some 1967 quarters were accidentally struck on penny or dime blanks. This means the quarter looks smaller or thinner than usual, or the color is different, like reddish copper or gray. These coins are not only weird to look at, they're also very rare. Some of these error quarters have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And the better the condition, the higher the price. Another error that can bring big money is called an off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not placed right during minting, and the design is off to the side. If the date is still visible and the error is big, like half the coin is blank, it can be worth hundreds or even thousands. There are also clipped planchet coins, which look like they have a bite taken out of them. Those can also sell for big money, especially if the error is dramatic and clean. Then there are double die errors. This means part of the design, like the words or numbers, appears to be doubled. It happens when the coin is struck more than once in the wrong way. A strong double die coin in mint condition can be super valuable. In one real case, a 1967 quarter with this type of error sold for over $14,000 at auction. Some coins from 1967 were also made with a special finish for collectors. These are called special mint set coins, or SMS. A few of them have deep, shiny details and are called deep cameo. If you find a 1967 SMS quarter with a deep cameo look and no damage, it could be worth thousands of dollars. In some cases, collectors have paid $4,000 to $6,000 for one of these coins.